What's going on, everybody? I'm Matt.
And I'm Vanessa.
And today we're going to be talking about Logan. Now, if you clicked on this video, it's safe to assume that you know that we are going to be talking about spoilers, but we're going to be saving that for the end.
Yes.
Of the end of the first part of the video. We're going to talk about the film. We're going to discuss it a little bit. We're going to give it our grades, and then we're going to go into spoilers, and I'll even put up like a little banner or something as a reminder and give you guys who haven't seen the film a chance to jump ship, leave, before we start giving stuff away and discussing our opinions on what we liked and didn't like in more of a detail. Yes. But anyways, this is Logan, James Mangold's second go-around with the character. He first gave us the 2013 film, The Wolverine, and now he's back for Logan, which is supposedly the character's final hurrah, or at least Hugh Jackman's final hurrah, although I personally can't see anybody else playing Wolverine. It is Hugh Jackman. It has been for, what is this now, 17 years, I believe it is, 17, 18 years of playing the same character, so those are big shoes to fill if it's ever going to go that route.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they are, but I don't know if they're going to continue it the way that he is. Does that make sense?
You thinking like a reboot later on down the road?
Possibly reboot, more animated, like actual Wolverine costume instead of.
Oh, like the yellow and black costume. Yeah. I don't see anybody else. I don't know. I don't see anybody else playing Wolverine.
I think that's the only way they could possibly kind of get away with it.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know any actor right now working in Hollywood who could pull off what Hugh Jackman has pulled off for all these years. But anyways, let's get into Logan. Let's talk about this. So the film is set in 2029 and there aren't many mutants left, and we find Logan near the Mexican border working as a limo driver and taking care of Charles Xavier. Their attempt at laying low is jeopardized when a young mutant pursued by mercenaries and a dangerous corporation enters their lives. And that's just a brief little rundown of the film. But this is not your typical Wolverine or X-Men film.
Not at all.
Not at all. And I mean, we could sit here and talk about the R rating, which, I mean, everybody by now knows about. It is littered with, yes, much violence, much blood, much limbs being hacked off, it's brutal. It is fine. I will say, it is the Wolverine movie that a lot of people were hoping for. Yes. I mean, this isn't, your PG-13. Yeah, he's hacking away at people, but you don't see anything.
Yeah.
No, you see
you
everything.
Hear it, but you don't really see it.
You see everything. And there is profanity. I mean, actually, the first time we see Wolverine, he's dropping an F-bomb. That's our introduction to him in this film.
Yep.
But it's so much more than just the swearing and the blood.
Yes.
This is a very dark, gritty, bleak film. I mean,
which we haven't really seen
from
X-Men ever.
Nothing close to this. I mean, and it's more about these two characters, Logan and Professor X, and they're both just, like I already said, it's set in the future, 2029, and at this point they're old, they're weak, they're weary, and they're done with everything. We see Logan, and it takes longer for him to heal now.
Yeah.
He's slower. it sounds bad saying this about Wolverine, but he's weaker.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, in the sense that, I mean, he's run down. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. And Professor X, he spends his days locked up in this old, rusted out water tank, and he's having trouble remembering things. He's constantly on medication and is being sedated because he has these dangerous seizures. These are not the characters that we're used to, seeing. Nowhere close to that. But they do have a plan. I mean, I said they're laying low, but they do have a plan for the future. They're trying to save up money, trying to buy a boat, and spend the rest of their days on the water, on the sea, away from the things of man. That's their plan. But things don't always work out as you would hope. So they're trying to lay low. They're trying to stay out of the public's eye. When all of a sudden this woman keeps popping up and badgering Logan.
Yes.
Hey, you want to buy a girl? I mean, that sounds horrible, but no, she's trying to talk Logan into taking this young girl to the Canadian border, and she's willing to pay him, and that's what Logan's interested in.
Yes,
He's trying to save up money. He's trying to buy this boat. He hears money. Yeah.
Yep.
Sure, I'll take. I mean, of course, at first he's like, "No, who the hell are you? Get away from me."
Don't care.
Yeah, I don't care. I want nothing to do with this. But then she's like, "I got money," and he's like, "Okay, let's talk." But what he doesn't know is that this young girl, Laura, played by
Daphne Keane.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Played by Daphne Keane, is actually a mutant. He has no idea at first. Just is like, yeah, sure, I'll take the money. I'll take her where you need me to take her. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. But at the same time, this mercenary working for this corporation to be named later, Pierce is his character's name, played by Boyd Holbrook. Did I have that correctly? Yeah, played by Boyd Holbrook in the film. He's also looking for the girl. And then when everything finally comes together and all hell breaks loose, you have Logan, Professor X, or Charles, and Laura all on the run.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much as
far as we can really.
Yeah, without actually going into the spoilers right now, which we're not going to do. But yeah, that's the basic gist of the film. But of course, this is Logan's movie in a sense. It is Hugh Jackman's swan song for the character. This is his last outing. He's terrific. He is
fantastic.
He's
Even
absolutely fantastic.
Patrick Stewart is great. I really love it, but the acting was. He was great. I really can't say anything.
Yeah, the acting was great. I mean, I expected Hugh Jackman to be good or even great, but he pulls off like the old grizzled warrior thing. I don't know. It actually is pretty amazing to see him do that because I'm used to the, constantly angry, constantly looking for a fight Wolverine, and here he's just kind of like, I'm so done with this.
Right.
Like where's my booze? I mean, he's constantly drinking. He's constantly run down. He's got the gray and white in his beard. I mean, the whole thing. And it's just, on one hand, it's hard to watch, but on the other hand, I'm just like, man, he's Hugh Jackman. He's great. He's fantastic. Patrick Stewart, on the other hand, almost, in a way, stole the show for me. Almost, because, I'm used to him, once again, being like the wise, Professor X, passing off wisdom to everybody, and here he's so old.
Yeah, old, worn down.
Yeah, I mean, worn down and having trouble remembering things. But he still, what I loved is that he still had like that fatherly, nurturing side to him, where he's trying to pass off words of wisdom to Logan. He's trying to make Logan, stop and appreciate life. But man, their relationship together is actually what really works in this film.
It does. It's father-son kind of relationship, and it really works.
It does.
I think it's hard for me to kind of accept this as a Logan film because Logan is Wolverine. Wolverine is part of X-Men. So I am thinking to the whole X-Men universe, whatever, not Marvel universe, just the X-Men universe. And it's hard for me to comprehend because we're only focusing on one person. So it's hard for me to kind of accept that. I want more.
Yeah.
Especially since you're doing this as more X-Men movies are coming out.
Yeah, which is also kind of interesting because this film doesn't really fall in line with the other films. But of course, this is taking place in the future. It's kind of like, we go from like Days of Future Past and Apocalypse, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, we're way off in the future, and such has happened, and now here we are, boom. It's like, whoa, like, okay. Was not really prepared for that. Was not really expecting that. And on one hand, it is also kind of hard to accept it as just a Logan movie, because, that's what I mean. I love the relationship between Professor X and Wolverine, and if you think about it all the way back to the very first X-Men, they had like this kind of connection and relationship, and here we are all the way at the end. And so yes, it is more about Logan, but you could easily say it's just as much about Professor X and their relationship together. But all in all, it is a good film. Yes, I will say that it is a very good film. There's tons of ridiculous action in the movie. I was gonna say way too much, but it's
probably what it should be for a Wolverine
It
film that everybody for an R-rated Wolverine film, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I never felt like it really went over the top. There was a lot of stuff I was not expecting. After growing up and watching all the X-Men films, I was like, whoa, did you really just do that? Okay.
No, I mean, I think I expected the violence because with a character like Wolverine, he's a very violent and angry person. So I can get that. The language was a little bit baffling, but you want to make the most out of the R rating without...
Yeah, and I mean, the language didn't really bother me. There were sometimes I was like, wow, that's like a string of expletives. I was like, okay. But I mean, it didn't really affect me so much. I mean, watching Wolverine swear, I was like, okay, I can see that. Watching Patrick Stewart swear as much as he did, I was like, huh, all right.
Yeah, it was hard.
I mean, what is it? McAvoy is like, okay, he cusses out Wolverine in Days of Future Past, but
once.
Yeah, but watching Patrick Stewart, I was like, wow, all right, okay. But no, it never really felt over the top.
Yeah.
It was just kind of odd. It was a little bit odd watching them go back and forth and like cussing at each other.
When you're used to the family-friendly X-Men or the family-friendly Wolverine, it is going to be kind of a shock, and most people are going to appreciate the shock value because that's what they wanted from a Wolverine film, from Logan.
Yeah, and it definitely felt like a more adult, more mature Wolverine film. Obviously, do not take your kids to this movie.
No.
Do not take your kids to this movie.
No.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait a little while before showing them this one. But anyways, getting back on track, it is a good film. It is worth watching. It is action packed. It is very bleak, which is my biggest problem with the film, which we are gonna get more into here in a little bit. It is very bleak. It's very rough. It's
gritty.
It's not a happy film.
No,
not at all.
There's no happy.
Yeah, there's no joy to be found in this film
just
at
the
all.
second you think there's going to be happiness, it gets shattered.
Which is also a little bit strange. There is very little humor in this film, and I don't mean. You mean obviously the story? The story is not funny. The story is nowhere near funny at all. But even in the other films, when stuff is getting kind of rough, there's like those little brief moments of humor. This one, no, we're not doing that here. But all in all, very good film. We're about to talk about it more in depth.
Yes.
But first, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a B+. It is not, to me, it is not a great film, but it was a very good film. It is a pretty good send off, for Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. Which, I'm gonna talk more about that in a minute. But
I am going to give it a B because I have my issues with it. So we're gonna talk about those in just a moment.
Yeah, actually, we're gonna start.
If you're not going to continue on with our spoilers, it's going to be more story-based, my issues. So, and then at some point, when do you want to, if you want to continue?
No, we're going to continue. We're actually about to continue right now. So This is the point. If you haven't seen the film or if you don't want to hear about the spoilers or anything like that, this would be the time to stop watching. Otherwise, let's jump right into it. And I don't know if you want to kick us off or I can kick us off. I don't know how many issues you have. Actually, I'm going to start with the good.
Okay.
This is actually a good spoiler, which they did a great job keeping this under wraps. But X-24, if you haven't seen the film, you know X-24. If you haven't, X-24 is basically, essentially I guess you could say the main bad guy. Well, it's hard to say the main bad guy. You have all the mercenaries, you have the corporation, but then the mutant that they send after Logan and Xavier and Laura is X-24, which is the young, rage-filled Logan. I mean, played by Hugh Jackman. Yeah, it's the clone. It's the Wolverine clone. And oh my goodness, I mean, you want to talk about using your R rating effectively? That was a nice touch because when those two are going at it, oh my gosh.
Yes.
But I really enjoyed that. did not see that coming. When it happens in the film, I was like, what? What is happening? So I absolutely loved that.
I do like that too.
I'm gonna jump on to another one here real quick. Well, actually, two more because one of them leads into one that you were talking about. Which the first one is towards the end of the movie, you have all the young mutants making a run for it, heading off towards the border, Canadian border. I didn't care.
Right.
I didn't care at all.
It's hard for you. That's the whole purpose, kind of this movie is to get this girl, to get Laura to
Eden in the
I'm
film,
so sorry.
which is in North Dakota, and from there,
all the kids are gonna. So
they're
all the
trekking
kids are
towards
meeting
Canada.
up there, and then they're supposed to be going. Yeah, I don't know, but you don't really care for the other kids, and there's quite a few of them at the end of the movie. You kind of care for Laura, but not really.
Well, see, and that was my other thing.
Issue.
And this is another big spoiler. Laura, being Logan's daughter, if you will, it was interesting, but once again, I wasn't invested in her character. I just didn't care about her, which sounds horrible, but this is supposed to be Logan's movie. This is Wolverine's send-off and everything, and I'm like, okay, well, this young girl comes in, and then about halfway through the movie, it's like, or maybe that's probably an exaggeration, but anyway, near the halfway point, It's like, oh, by the way, this is your daughter, made from your DNA. Now I'm supposed to all of a sudden,
I mean, it's not even. My problem with the whole daughter aspect is, you care for a person because they're your blood, or you spent enough time with them that they're close enough that blood doesn't matter. He just met this young girl, and the only thing that really binds them is the fact that his DNA is in her, and not naturally, but whatever corporation has his blood, put it into some child, and now she is his daughter.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like.
Don't really like that.
Yeah, and it kind of felt like the screenwriter's attempt at making it more of an emotional connection, his connection to somebody else kind of thing, and then we're all supposed to jump on board and just go along with it and be like, oh my gosh, Wolverine has a daughter, and I was sitting there okay, cool, I guess. One of the other big things for me, at least, was the other X-Men. The film keeps alluding to something happening with Charles. I can only safely assume with his crazy seizures that he has, something happened to the other X-Men, and Charles feels responsible. The only thing I could think of is he had one of his seizures and wiped everybody out.
That was my issue. What happened to the other mutants?
Yeah,
I want to know what happened.
To know.
I get it. This is a Logan movie. This is a movie about Wolverine. However,
but even a flashback.
Give me something else.
Explain what happened, because to me. You could write it off as, okay, well, this is Logan's movie, something happened to them, but now we're focused on, Logan's ending. But, once again, if you're somebody like me, who's grown up following these films, or even, to some degree following the comics, caring about these other characters, you've taken us this far, and now it's just well, they're all gone. They're all dead. Yeah. Something happened. Charles feels horrible, but we don't know what it is. That's kind of I want to know.
I want to know, too, and the other thing is, what happened to Professor X? So he has this guilt, and I want to know why. You don't ever get to, and you can assume that it's because something drastic happens, but you don't know. What got him into these seizures? What got him to be out of his element? It's just...
Yeah, I think that, to me, is just more of the old age. Now, now it's set in the future. He's older. He's obviously weaker. But at the same time, I'm with you. We've gone from seeing him be more than capable of running the X-Men to now he's bedridden and constantly being sedated with medication. And it's just difficult when you don't have the full picture. You don't have the whole story. Right. And because Professor X is such a big part of this film, you are attached to him, you are attached to his character, you've come this far with him, and you care about him, and there are some scenes that are really heartbreaking with him in it, but at the same time you have that nagging question of what the heck happened. Mm-hmm. So that to me was kind of key, and I don't know if do you have anything major before I get into my last one?
No, go ahead.
No? Alright, well then I'm just going to keep on rolling. And then my biggest thing is...
Go ahead.
My biggest thing is this movie is incredibly depressing.
It's pretty dark.
It's incredibly depressing, and it's basically everything that I just talked about. Something happened to the X-Men. They're all dead. It's, since we're talking about spoilers, Charles dies in the film in a kind of a nasty way, and then we get all the way to the end of the film, and Wolverine dies in this horribly gruesome fashion, and it's just... I couldn't help but leave the theater going... So, this is what's become of the X-Men. they're all dead.
They're all dead.
They're all dead.
Except
they're
for
all
these,
gone.
Except for these young kids.
And
who
I don't
are
care about them.
Genetically modified. They're not really... I can't even say they're mutants because they're clones.
Well, they are essentially mutants. I mean, everything that they're capable of doing does make them mutants.
Okay.
And since their DNA has been changed, they are officially mutants.
Okay.
But still, I don't care about them. And if they continue on with the kids, right now, as it stands right now, I mean, I might get interested later, but I have no interest. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I loved, Patrick Stewart as Professor X. They're gone. And it left me with kind of like this emptiness inside. That was my problem with the film. I left empty. And it wasn't just because of Wolverine. It was because I couldn't help but think about the whole thing. All the X-Men are gone. And I was just like... So once again, here we are, big corporation. They're genetically modifying people, and all the X-Men are dead?
Yeah.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
I think the last thing that I have an issue with... Well, I don't really have an issue. This is more of an explanation. I appreciate the fact that the only way to really end a Wolverine in general would have to be death, and it's hard to do when you have a character that self-heals, and anti-aging, so it's hard to kill off this character, and you can't retire a Wolverine because somebody will always be able to draw him back. There's always going to be a part of him that's going to get drawn back. As long as he is alive, somebody is going to come after him either for help or for other reasons. So killing him is the only way to end Wolverine. And that's what they did. Now, I kind of want to know what happened to him in more detail to get him to the point where he cannot regenerate, or how he was able to age and not be able to heal or whatever.
Yeah, and they make the hint at, the adamantium poisoning, but it's never put out there. Which, I mean, I'm kind of okay with, because you can draw, conclusions from the fact that, he himself hints at it's the adamantium inside of him that's, now, for whatever reason, breaking down. It's kind of almost like metal poisoning, but adamantium poisoning. And if that is something in the comics, well, I don't know that. But, and to your point too, I mean, I do love the fact that, in a way, it could only end with his death. Yes. Just because, they drew the comparisons in the film to Shane, which is all about, staying true to who you are. You can't escape who you are, and if who you are is an angry fighter, that's just what you're gonna be, and that's who Wolverine is. He's angry. He's full of rage. I don't know. He's full of, regret and anger and self-loathing in a way. And this was the only way for him to go out, was fighting. I kind of knew that. It was like, going into the film, it was like, well, it can either end with him walking off into the sunset, or he's going to go out in a blaze of glory. And he goes out in a blaze of glory. But I don't know. I also wanted more of an emotional, something more emotional. I wanted a little added, something to really, this sounds horrible, but to really kind of break my heart, because I do love Wolverine, and if I'm going to sit there and cry at somebody's death, I'm fine with doing it over Wolverine, because, like you said, he's been playing the same character for almost 2 decades now.
And how dark and depressing the movie was, there really wasn't a whole lot of that pull at your heartstrings moment.
Yeah, that's exactly,
it was more
thank you.
When is something funny going to happen, or when is something happy going to happen?
Well, and even at the end, I mean, you had a little moment between him and Laura, but I don't know. I guess I just wanted a little something more, but that's just me. And so, yeah. Anyways, that's all I've got in terms of spoilers. So, yeah, I don't know. If you did see the film and you have made it this far, if you disagree or if you do agree, feel free to leave a comment below. Let us know. Maybe we got something wrong. Maybe we missed something. Who knows? But this, of course, is just our opinions. Otherwise, yeah, it was a really good film. I'm not going to go ahead and say it was great. It was really good. It is worth checking out. But man, it is tough to endure.
Yes.
That's for sure. But yeah, that's it. So, of course, if you do like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to see more of our movie reviews, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. And take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you guys next time.